Okay.
Let's do it.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Veteranbassin, and today is Military Monday. Today we got Staff Sergeant Murray. He's going to be joining us. He is with the Army, but I'm going to let him tell you a little bit about himself before we go ahead into this interview. So with that being said, I'm going to take it over to him. Oh, before you do that, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and comment on anything else you would like to know. Or if you have a question for Sergeant Murray here. And with that being said, take it away.
All right. What do we need to know about me? Georgia native. Been here my whole life except for when the Army moved me around. As a child, I always wanted to be in the military. That's what I wanted to do. And it worked until I got blown up.
You got blown up.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to be a pro football player. So, yeah, the military was kind of a distant thing. But I'm actually glad I did join because I learned a couple of things. But I guess we'll start off with, well, since you already said you always wanted to be in the military, we'll go with, where did you go to boot camp?
Originally, I went in when I was 17. My mother had to sign for me.
Yeah.
I went at 17 as a 31 Charlie single channel radio operator. I was just National Guard. So basic AIT, went home. Basic at Jackson with females. So a little easier.
Yeah, you lucky bastard. We only did males, but okay.
Females, they had them. It was all male, well, it was still male and female at Gordon too during AIT, but then I reclassed to a scout when I got back in later. No females, for sure.
No females, yeah, I know.
There are now.
There are female scouts now?
Oh yeah. I don't know how that's gonna work, if you're a 15-man platoon, a kilometer from Pakistan, 90 from the nearest Americans. I don't know how, monthly visitors and women around a bunch of men out of nowhere. It's gonna work.
I don't know if it will. I heard that they're now trying to make female SF teams also.
Yes, they're letting them do whatever they want.
I was like, this shit. I mean, women are saying, you know what, we can do it all too.
You can, but you have problems. There's some things that happen to you that don't happen to us.
Yeah. That's one major thing that happens to them that don't happen to us.
Yeah. I mean, you spend 8 months in a country with a bunch of men, and then they send you a replacement that's a female.
Yeah.
I don't see how that's okay.
Yeah.
So I don't think it'll work.
I guess, we're going to keep it political. We're going to see.
It could work. I mean, it's happening. There's female rangers. I mean, it can happen. I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm just saying there's things that they need to think about as well.
I agree.
I didn't get mail for 6 months. None. So if they run out of tampons, what happens? You gotta wait 6 months and maybe the mail will come.
Yeah, true.
Until then, what?
I agree with some things about that. So you went to basic in Fort Gordon for 31.
Yeah, basically it was just Fort Jackson.
No, not basic.
Yeah, AIT was 31 Charlie, a single channel radio operator and maintainer.
So at that time,
that was in 96. So my class when we went through, we were the very first ones. We took them out of the box, the pluggers.
Yeah.
You remember the plugger?
Yeah.
That big old GPS thing?
Heck yeah.
We were the ones that took them out of the box. We played with them first. And that was in 96.
So at that point in time, the 25 Bravo and you said the 31 Charlie.
Right.
They pretty much were separate at that time, am I correct?
That's correct.
Because now, mind you, back in the 90s, I was actually in the Navy. So when I actually went over to the Army, by that time, the 25 Bravos, they were the IT guys.
Yeah, it all changed 25 series, I think. All 31s changed.
Well, do you know that they actually got away from the IT? Matter of fact, they got away from the 25 series altogether.
That all goes with intelligence now, I think.
Yeah, they were looking for hackers.
Yeah.
They're looking for hackers now, so
plenty of them. And there's some 7 and 8 year old ones that are real good at it.
So did you deal? I don't know if y'all did with the FBCD2 systems.
Mm-hmm. We had, what were they called? They were stupid. The little black plane you had to put together and you could roll it.
Yeah.
And use it like a drone.
Oh, kind of like the they call it the eyes in the sky
It wasn't, no, these were little tiny planes.
Yeah.
For just us to have out in the middle of nowhere. And they sucked. They were no good. But
Well, I mean, what the military actually is,
it's all military.
unless you're SF, you know what I'm saying? It ain't really all that good
You know,
anyway.
they're civilians and all they want is military grade stuff.
Yeah,
And what they don't understand is the military grade goes to the lowest bidder.
True.
Military grade's not that special.
Nah, not really. So after you went to your AIT, you went CAV.
After AIT, I went home and I did 1 week in a month, you know, with the guard. And then when that ended in 02, 04, sometime like that, and then I went back in 07.
You went back in the same year I went back.
I went back in
When I switched
07.
to the Army, I did the Warrior Transition Course.
Yeah, they told me I had to do that, but then I didn't. They sent me straight to Scout. I inserted it in their OSET, so they had already done their basic portion. I got put in the end, and I was prior service, so I didn't have to do everything.
Well, I call that kind of garbage because our prior service, and I still had to go to WTC.
I didn't.
Ah, that's garbage.
They told me I had to go to White Sands and do the marching craft and a new basic, and then I had to go and do all that stuff you're talking. And then they called and said, "You don't gotta do that. Just show up at Knox."
Oh, that's bull. You know what? I'm a little bit PO'd about that now. I am. Because I had to go sit there and deal with, you know, because we was at Fort
See,
Salem,
but
Oklahoma.
you were different. You were different. See, I was prior Army. You were prior Navy.
And
So that might be why.
And then they dropped me a rank.
They dropped me a rank. Yeah, for every 3 years you're out, they take a pay grade. So I was an E5. I came back as an E3.
Ooh, I don't
It was hard. It was hard. I went from E3 to E6 promotable in what, Jeff? A little over 3 years?
2009 when you got your E6.
E6 and 9, I went in 7. And when I got out, I got an email saying you need to go to school. You're going to be 7. You're on the 7 list. But I was already getting med boarded, so.
Yeah, you weren't worried about that anyway.
I would have said it done it before I got med boarded. I get paid more. Maybe.
So when you went to the CAV, okay, what was that training like?
Cav's awesome. The Cav's awesome. You know, the video they show you when you go to the recruiting office, they're driving dirt bikes and dune buggies and jumping. I never rode a dirt bike. Except for in Afghanistan, the one we bought. Never saw a dune buggy. But it is fun. I mean, you're the eyes and the ears of the commander. I mean, we go and take pictures and we call back and say, hey, infantry needs to go here. Tanks need to go here. These bridges are okay. They'll hold heavy equipment. That's what we do.
Oh, CAVs. But to be honest with you.
If you think about it, you'll hear infantry is queen of battle, right?
Yeah.
Well, we're the ones that keep them bitches from getting raped.
Ah, got you. So you're more of, how does the Navy would put it, you're more the intel in real time.
That's right. So all of you infantry guys that are listening, you heard me right.
You know what? My brother, who was third IB, he might beg to differ with you. No, I think he was CAV also.
It might be all right then.
I know he was with the third ID though.
Yeah, I was with third ID. I was with a 5-7 Cav. I went down. That's a Gary Owen Cav. But 7th Cav is cursed because that's Custer's Cav.
I don't know which CAV. If he was CAV, I don't know which
If
one.
he was Cav at Stewart, he was.
Oh yeah,
7th
no,
Cav.
he was CAV at Benning. He was out of Benning.
Well, 515 down at Benning now. They moved all the stuff from all the scout training from Knox to Benning now, so I don't know who's down there.
Them crazy motherfuckers. Benning breed, crazy ones.
They do what they want.
But so you leave the CAV. So when was, now before we get a little too deep into this, like I always like to give this disclaimer to you guys. Really like to keep it respectful to the vets, because this is all about awareness. You know what I'm saying, for what veterans go through. And I believe in just about like any other vet believes that vets are not treated the way they should be. And there are things that I believe that our government should do for our vets, because there should not be not one homeless vet out there, but if you look around, there's a lot. So we're going to keep this respectful, and we're going to not stare this conversation into anything that would upset any veteran, like we always do. So, with that being said, we're going to ask if how many deployments have you done? We'll ask
I
that.
just did one, and that was enough.
One. That was
That was enough. Well, when we left, they said it was a 15-month deployment.
15 months.
15 months.
First
When
one was
we got
60,
there,
right? The first one was like 1 month more than yours.
yeah, 15 months is what they said. And then about 4 months in, they said, "You're doing 12." We were like, "Yeah." But I mean, it wasn't that bad. I mean, as a scout, you're out in the middle of nowhere. I didn't see any heavy brass.
That got to be the best
Maybe
thing about it.
twice. Maybe twice. Actually, General McNeil came to Terroir and gave me that coin, and then he said, we asked him what he was going to do now that he's retired. He said, "I've seen it all now that I've been here." We were in the middle of nowhere. It wasn't nothing. We didn't have no lights. We brought light to that place. You could see so many stars. You could see the Milky Way. I mean, it was clear. It looked like a cloud in the sky. I mean, it was damn dark. It was dark. Dark.
So, so you went to Afghanistan, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so, what file were you out of?
All right, so we were on COP. So we were on COP Terroir, which is, we were 2 kilometers from the Pakistan border, and I think it was 76 kilometers from the nearest American.
Yeah.
And there were 17 of us. Our platoon replaced a whole battalion of 82nd guys.
82nd Airborne.
82nd Airborne guys. When we got there and we're leaving them, I thought I came to Vietnam. They had all the dang fatigues cut off. Their fatigues were cut off, walking around with their shirts off. They had grills everywhere. I'm like, what is this?
Well, to be honest with you, I would tell you the 82nd Airborne, from what my understanding was, they are like the prima donnas of it.
It was awesome. I mean, it got that way for us later, but I mean, I liked it. I mean, we're in the middle of nowhere. When we finally figured out that they couldn't see our BFTs,
Yeah.
we just called up SP. And then we waited a couple of hours and we were back. We went on the mission. But we really did. We go and wake everybody up and like, "Hey, don't answer the phone and the talk. You're on a mission."
Well, I remember you telling me a story about while you were out there, how y'all got your food and clothing in.
Yeah, well, shoot. We were in Terroir for 6 months before we got any mail. I didn't know where it was. We heard the trucks got blown up and the mail was exploded and we didn't have nothing. But when we got our food, they'd call us and on the radio. They'd say, "Hey, we're bringing some food in," and we'd go out and set a perimeter because we got our food. They'd fly and kick it out by shooting.
Yeah.
And we'd get it. Well, they had a time that they said we're going to use new low altitude chutes, so it'll, we can drop it lower and it'll be a lot safer. So the planes came, and when they started flying up, I noticed they don't look much lower than normal. Mm-hmm. Then you see the pallets come out. Back the plane, they open up, and they're coming, and then they turn into and we had 5 pallets of water explode on the ground in front of us. We picked up the chutes and left. We did find the magazines that the Air Force guys stuffed down in the pallets.
Yeah.
The Playboys and the left all the trash.
Were you there during the wet season, like with Afghan and?
Yeah, it wasn't. When we were down south, it was nothing. There was nothing. But when we moved up north on the KB Pass, it was a little different. And we got some rain. It was like moon dust. I mean, everywhere we walked, it was probably, 12 to 18 inches worth of dust when you.
Yeah.
But then when the rain came, you'd have that 12 to 18 inches on the bottom of your boot. It just stuck to your shoes. They brought in gravel 10 or 12 times, and they just ate the gravel.
So y'all didn't have to deal with all that flooding crap. It didn't flood.
When we moved to Dicey, there was no wire around. Dicey was actually named from Ira Dicey, who was in my unit that got killed.
Yeah.
So they built this new fob, and when we got there, we had tents. No wire around the outside.
Tent City.
Hmm?
Yep.
That was it, in the middle of the KG Pass, down in a little valley. I don't know why the hell they put Wilderness and Dicey in a valley. You would think you'd like to be on top of the hill.
But see, that makes more sense. And that's the one thing I did not understand about that is why? Why would you take the low ground instead of the high ground?
Because old men lie, young men die. That's how it is. The politicians lie about bullshit, and they send all the young people from the country there to get killed for it.
Well, that kind of goes along with the whole politicians start wars.
Yeah, that's right. But they never go to them.
Heck no.
Right?
Heck no, they don't. Like, yeah, it would be less wars if they did that.
Mm-hmm.
It would be
I
a
agree.
whole lot less.
If they told everybody, when you turn 18, male, female, you have to do 2 years in the military. I guarantee you.
But you know what though? I fully believe that everybody should at least do one term.
Absolutely.
At least one term.
There won't be none of this racist bullshit.
Nah, because
There won't be none of that.
it wouldn't be because here. I mean, to be all honest with you, like it ain't really but nothing but a cesspool of crazy guys. Well, and sometimes the females get crazier than that.
90% of the people in the army. I could have gone to jail or I could have come into the army. I chose the army. Hey, that's what I did.
You know, like I give you a little story about that. Like when I was going through corps school, when I was in the Navy going through as a corpsman, and when the first day of medical class, but corpsman is actually medic.
Yeah.
But first day going through medical class, we had 2 Puerto Rican instructors, and they said we're going to teach you a valuable lesson today about the military. And they said the thing we're going to teach you is about culture, broadening your horizon about other people's culture.
With your right hand in Afghanistan, you'll get beat up because that's the hand they wipe with. You wave at them with your right hand, you're in trouble.
But he told me that, well, it was him and her, but they told me that you're going to learn how to like do bachata and merengue and so forth and so on. I thought they were boogie jam. I'm like, look, I'm here to learn how my medical stuff and go on. Do you know after the first test, because I did not get up and start learning how to do that, because that whole first day was learning how to salsa merengue and so forth and so on. Because I didn't do that, they failed me.
That's crazy.
I got my ass up and I said, well, I gotta do it. But then I found out I loved it.
Yeah.
And to this day, like if you go to any club, well, back then, any club that I went to, what I thought was dancing was really nothing but just grinding on each other all day long.
Oh yeah.
And then I really got in, well, from merengue, that took me into like samba, ramba, Argentine
Yeah, I
tango.
didn't know how to save anybody. Just dance around them.
I know. But okay, here's a good question for you. Because you said you had your combat lifesavers, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that we did as corpsmen is we walked around while we were there with tampons and maxi bags.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever do that?
Fort Campbell's fantastic. Okay, so you get to go to Advanced Combat Lifesaver. You're there with 5th Group, because that's where they're at. And they have goats, live ones.
Mm-hmm.
They'll shoot motherfuckers. And your job is to keep it alive.
That is awesome.
That's fantastic.
That is darn awesome. Matter of fact, well, in core school, this is the one thing, okay, and we're going to take this back to boot camp real quick. Like, you know how in boot camp they preach sexual harassment, right? So when I went to core school, they paired you with a female, and you had to like touch and so for so on. I'm scared as hell because I'm.
What's she gonna say?
Sexual harassment.
I don't know. Yeah.
Exactly. So
What's the line?
I almost failed because like I wouldn't touch you know, because when you do your full body assessment, you got to
That's
touch
right.
it,
You
tap
touch
it.
and feel it, how
Yeah.
it is.
So I almost failed because I wouldn't. So what they did, they actually made me the patient and like had just about every female there like touch me, and I'm like,
That's okay.
I
I'm
ain't
not
got-
gonna complain about it.
I didn't have no complaints because what guys gonna complain about that? Well, except for like, you know, the ugly ones.
We're
but-
just being professional.
yeah.
You know,
So it took all of that for me to actually do it, you know, and even then I still was like, man, they're gonna get me for sexual harassment, and I'm finna get like Article 15, I'm finna get, they finna
I made
get
it, man. I did my whole Army career with not one Article 15.
I didn't. I fought my XO. And the reason being with that is, I don't know how this interview turned into me.
It did.
But the XO, he actually, before I had my sea legs, and we was on the ship, and he pushed me, and my head hit the pipe. So I said, I'm not going to be the only one bleeding here.
Right.
So
Let's even this up.
yeah, we got to a fist fight. Come to find out after that, like nothing happened to the XO, but you know, I got 45,
45.
half months pay times 2 in CCU for 30 days. The CCU is that correction thing where it's like you go back to like a mini boot camp and you go out there and they PT you half to death and you sledgehammer busting rocks.
I like all the guys that got drunk at Fort Campbell. Then they get put in the Army Substance Abuse Program.
Yeah,
So ASAP or whatever.
yeah,
So what these guys did at Campbell, they figured it out. I mean, anybody that has a problem, you're gonna figure it out, right?
Pretty
These
much.
guys can't drink because they're going to ASAP, right? Because they're gonna breathalyze them.
yeah.
These sons of bitches soaked liquor on a tampon and shoved it up their ass. Be drunk as piss, but don't blow in no alcohol. I said, I don't need to drink that, man.
I've never heard of that.
Me neither. These people are insane.
That's a new one on me.
It must have been millennials. I don't know. It was nuts. I don't know anybody that would do that.
Not any sane person. Well, that would.
I guess it depends. Wait, when we found liquor in Afghanistan, it was a different ballgame. I didn't stick it in my ass, but I did get drunk.
That kind of goes back to the whole story that a guy told me about with the Marines. He was sitting in the office, you know, in the courtroom. He said this Marine came to him and told him like, "Doc, you need to come see this. You need to come see this." And Doc got up because you know he didn't know what the world was going on. I kid you not. When he went to the bathroom, he passed one that was the width and the length of a Coke can.
Oh, what?
Huh?
Fast dude.
A dump.
Oh, good God. Well, I've done that before. I was on pain medication for a long time when I broke my back.
But he was not on pain medication. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand pain medication.
MREs will do it too. MREs will do it too.
But he said you should have actually been in my office or on your way to me for me to get that out of you.
Right.
There's no way you should
I got
have.
something I can squirt up there that'll.
Yeah, that'll help you get it out.
Yeah.
But for you to pass that naturally and then there's no like bleeding or nothing.
Yeah, no fissures. See, speaking of fissures, while we were down there, we had this E2 cook.
Yeah.
That got assigned to our platoon to feed us. All of a sudden, everybody started getting sick. What's going on? This guy was cleaning the dishes that we cooked and ate on with hand sanitizer. With hand sanitizer. He didn't tell anybody that he was out of what he needed. I guess he just improvised.
Yeah.
Wrongly. Everybody got sick. Everybody was puking out. Oh, yeah. We had a kid get, a friend of mine, he was 18 when we got to Afghanistan. And that hydrochloroquine that we took for malaria.
Yeah.
It gave us all nightmares, right? And nobody wanted that. That's not a place to get scared, you know, when you have a gun. So we just stopped taking it. Poor my friend. He got malaria. He was stumbling around his underwear in the gravel. They sent him to Germany. Got him better. Sent him back to the States. And then sent him back to us. Poor Joker.
So
Now he's a SWAT commander in Casper Island.
So any bullet time?
Any bullet time?
Yeah.
I had some. We had some.
If you are comfortable with it, take us on your first one.
Let's see. First one's when I got pulled up.
Oh,
The very first time we had any action is when I broke my back. We got there in March. I think late March we got finally down to Tijuana. And we were escorting a PRT team to meet another one.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm the lead scout. I'm gunning. We're riding along, and things were weird. You know, we're driving along. I saw like a mirror flash up the mountain beside me. I was like, that's weird. You know, but you saw the dress. You know, it had little flashing things. I didn't really think of them. A little while longer, flash on the mountains on the left. I was like, that's really weird. Did it again on the right. I called it up. I was like, something's not right. Oh, don't worry about it. Just keep an eye on the women and children that have these things. Oh, yeah, you're right. We pull around the corner and there's 15 Afghans. And they all got shovels or hose, and they're within 2 or 3 feet of each other, and all kind of just hitting at the dirt. I'm like, that was fucking weird. Why are all these people standing there? I was like, okay, I can see where we're going. I can see the intersection. Let's stop. Don said, I'm going to go to the next grid line. He was looking at the DFD, right?
Yeah.
I said, let's just stop here. I can see it. He said, okay, Dollar, stop. I thought Dollar slammed on the brakes. I was kicking fast. And I opened my eyes and I couldn't see. It was just smoke everywhere. So the funny thing was, you know, there's smoke in the truck. Dollar's wiping off the windshield because all the oil was on the outside. Because it blew the front of the truck off. But it was a pet peeve of the TC that the window had to be cleaned, so he was freaking out. But we always messed with Dollar. We always called everything Dollar's mom's box, right? So we called our truck Dollar's mom's box. So before the smoke even cleared, I said, damn, Dollar. Even the Taliban's tearing up your mom's box. And we laughed, and they said, can you feel your leg? And I said, my toes are wiggling. We were good. We jumped out of the truck, ran up the mountain beside us because they were videoing.
Yeah.
They ran down the other side, got on motorcycles, and took off. I came down and got back in the truck for a picture. I didn't get medevac. I mean, I had a gash above my eye. I just didn't want to leave. There's only a few of us. If I left, I didn't have no idea when I'd be back. I didn't know my back. I knew it hurt. I didn't know it was broke until I got home.
So this is before they had the up armor though.
Oh no, we were up on it. I mean, it was an inch and a half. I'll send you some pictures, man. It blew from the windshield forward, was 200 meters out in front of us. TC side front tire with 150 meters straight out.
Yeah.
I mean, so when it blew the truck up, instead of us driving over at 45, which would have probably lost my legs and killed them, we stopped on it, so it blew the front of the truck off. But when it blew it up, you know, my back racked against the back of the turret, and when we came down, we didn't have the proper pin. I had a copper wire holding my Mark 19 on.
Yeah.
So when it hit the ground, it popped that copper wire. Mark 19 and the 249 landed on my back and smushed me down the truck. But it is what it is. I can walk, and I have children, so I'm happy.
Yeah, that is what matters. You know, you made it back home to, you know what I'm saying, the wife and the kids, and you know, it's a mother over there. It's a mother.
And the funny thing was, when we got back in the truck, and you know, I'm trying to find my iPod, you know, it was somewhere in the truck. And when I found it, it was playing Johnny Cash, Ring of Fire.
You
And
know
I
what?
couldn't listen to Ring of Fire. How long did it take me before I could listen to that song?
Just started listening to it last year.
Yeah, for over a decade. That's crazy, isn't it?
Well, there's only one song that I hated, and that was that prayer that's over there.
I hate hearing this. I don't even care what prayer it is. I know what they're saying. They're talking shit. And they're telling them to come and kill us. And I don't like that. I don't like that. Friends ask me why I don't have an AK-47. I says, that's a great gun.
Very good. I mean, it's reliable.
They shot at me, and I don't like that sound.
You know what? Here's the funny thing. 4th of July. I know what the holiday is about, but I hate that holiday.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do.
I hate that holiday, and it's the fireworks that get me.
It's the bottle rockets. People don't understand. I don't know. And they won't. You know, they won't until they go.
True.
You know. And I think right when I came back, we went to a fireworks thing, and I couldn't watch the whole thing. I was like, maybe I'll be all right. I know it's fireworks.
I remember now my brother, he went over before I did. And he came back, 4th of July, fireworks went out, he hit the dirt. And combat crawled, and you know, there were some people who thought it was funny, and that crap ain't funny.
It ain't funny.
It ain't funny at all. You know,
It ain't funny, because then you'll hear a week later the same guy that you were laughing at killed himself because
I know.
that's
You
some
know,
stupid shit.
and you know what? That is one of the things that, you know, I'm definitely afraid of the most is, you know, my brother have been through that. You know, he's seen it, so that's a big fear of mine. As a matter of fact, like you heard earlier today, you know, a friend of mine, he was a ranger. You know, he walked off into the forest and killed himself, and
He said it was like 24 out of his platoon, not his platoon, I guess, but a battalion probably.
yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
I mean, those numbers are ridiculous.
And it don't make sense. I mean,
All they gotta do is make a phone call. It don't matter if you know the vet or not. It's a vet. They understand. Well, I shouldn't say that.
yeah, not all vets understand.
I think you gotta find the right vet that's been in the same shoes you were in.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, that's true.
So guys, I had an issue several months ago when we were living here. I needed to talk to a vet. And somebody just off Facebook didn't know who I was.
Mm-hmm.
Lives in Cochran. He happened to be a scout. He came to my house that night.
Yeah, you're part of that group too. What is it? Veterans?
Yeah.
I'm on that group. I did not know that. I did not know that.
Yeah. I tried to find out, I had a couple friends in Florida, and, hung out with the military order of the Purple Heart guys
Yeah.
and stuff, but they don't do that around here. If I want to try to make it, I'll just keep my group in Athens, because I got a free game I can go to the Georgia game and go out on the field and get clapped for once a year. Yeah, so that's nice.
Well, if you're going to get clapped for once a year, you might as well don't do it at a Georgia game. Go to Alabama. You know what I'm saying? They're a better team anyway.
Alabama loses. Georgia already beat them.
But how long did it take for Georgia to beat Alabama?
Until Alabama figured out that they're not as good.
The only reason Georgia won was because they played the third string.
Oh yeah, he got hurt. If he hadn't have got hurt, then Alabama would have won. I heard that.
Well,
I've heard those stories.
this is true.
Maybe.
But
It would have been a different game.
well, hold on. I'm not going to really just say that.
Wait, how many of Georgia's players defensively got in the first round of the NFL draft? 5. That's the most in history.
You know
You
what?
know who did it before that? Georgia.
You know what? I give you that. I give you that. But I give you that. But I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say 2 words. Nick Saban.
He's old. He needs to go back to Affleck. He just needs to give up.
Whatever.
He's one of those.
Greatest.
I mean, if he pays all his players and does, writes off all their criminal activity, yeah, he should be.
Oh, like Georgia don't.
We weren't talking about Georgia.
Yeah, roll tide. But with that being said, I think we're gonna cut that interview off right there. If you guys have any questions to Mr. Sergeant Murray, you know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid.
Staff Sergeant Murray. Not Sergeant Murray. Sergeant Murray's the little guy.
Well,
Got a rock.
Well, I understand you got a rocker, but you still big Sarge either way it goes. You still big Sarge either way it goes. You know, so Sergeant.
Yeah, I'll take that.
But if you have any questions for him, you know what I'm saying, leave a comment below.
I'll answer anything. You might not like it, but I'll answer anything.
Oh yeah, that's true. Don't ask him a question that you're not ready for the answer for. I'm gonna tell you that now. But that's most veterans, don't do it. But if you like the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and comment on anything else you would like to see. And with that being said, you guys have a blessed day. We gone.